Good Tavach, this is Gemara Pesachim Daf Nun Zayin, a new month, a good in Chodesh. All the learning should be as Chos Rafua Shlema Chaim Bechaz Ben Malki Dumei Ben Ikeri Men of Ben Vega Michaeli Sipar Mas Latili Yehuva Chaim Ben Sarah Shlomo Sibim Reizedel Sar Bas Kenentali Basim V'Chai Segi Yisrael Ben Mendilez V'Zeh Shalei Shem Basam V'Shevi V'Chad V'Val Domini Drival Shmuel Ben Tila Torah V'Kovat Slava Daniel Ben Chana Reyzel Melchai Bas Amina Li Brachos Tavia Musa B'Soshar Chayli Yisrael. We pick it up on the bottom of Nun Vavam Beis as we close in, and we're going to conclude today the fourth parak. Of Pesachim. Let's pick it up on the bottom of Nun Heya Mid Beis Tanu Rabbanan, 2 lines to the bottom. Bari Shayna Hayin Neistin Peah Lelefes. In the beginning, they used to give payah the corner lelefes ulikrov from turnip and cabbage. Rav Yesi Omer af likaploit, even from a vegetable called kaploit. So again, the Tanakama said you give from turnips and krov, and Rav Yesi says even from this vegetable called kaploit. I'm not defining it because it's really machlekes rishonim. Exactly what is this vegetable? V'tani Yidach, a second brisa says, this brisa says the Tanakama says he used to give payah from nafas and kaploit. And Rav Shimon Omer afli krov. And now Rav Shimon is the opinion that's saying even giving it from krov. So we have very interesting exactly what's going on in these two brises. The Tanakama in the first one says nafas and krov, the second is nafas and kaploit, and then the Rav Yesi originally says afla kaploit, and Rav Shimon says afli krov. So what does it sound like? As we move along to the Zayin of an Aleph, says the Gemara, it sounds like what's going on over here is that we have 3 different Tanayim. We have the Tanakama of the first brisa, the Tanakama of the second brisa, who each one is saying respectively Lefes and Krov, or Lefes and Kaplan, and Rav Yesi and Rav Shimon are adding on Kaplan and Krov. Says the Gemara, no, it's not really 3 opinions. Really, it's only 2 opinions. V'tanakama de Rav Shimon, hainu Rav Yesi. The first Tana of the Brisa that it said, the second Tana, when it said Tani Idoch, the Tanakama of Rav Shimon, that was Rav Yesi. Again, Rav Yesi came and said, Af lekaploin. So over here in the second Brisa, what is the Tani Idoch of the last line on the base? Peya. That what? Lefes and Kabloy. Said Kabloy was Rav Yesi. But Tanakama de Rav Yesi, and the first opinion was whom? Hainu Rav Shimon, who said Afli Kabloy, that is Rav Shimon. That said Kurov, that is Rav Shimon. Says the Gemara, Umay Af. Each one, Rav Yesi and Rav Shimon said Af, which sounds like they were adding on to the Tanakama. Says Mar, indeed, Akamaisa. They're adding on to the first part, meaning the first brisa said Naisin Peah Lelefes. Then it said Uli Krov. That Uli Krov, that was Rav Shimon adding it on. The second brisa said Lelefes Uli Kaploy. That Uli Kaploy, that was Rav Yesi adding it on. And now we continue over here on Zayin Amud Aleph, 3 lines down. Taner Rabban Ben Boyan. His name, that was his name, the son of Boyan. Nasan Peah, you would give Peah Yerik for vegetables. His son gave off the corner of the field, and again we mentioned that the issue over here is that vegetables are not chayiv in peah, and therefore the problem. What's the problem? The problem is, who cares? Aniyim are getting more stuff. No, the problem is since it's not chayiv in peah, now it's chayiv in meiser. Normally, when you take off peah, you give away the corner, then Aniyim come and take that scot free. Over here, since it's not really peah, it's really regular produce, so the Aniyim are coming to take this stuff. They have to now give off meiser. So what happened? It said Be'el Yerik Ubav. His father came. Umatz la'aniyim sheyatun Yerik. He sees all these aniyim coming, loading up the vegetables from Peah. So the father, Buyam, was standing at the door of the garden. Amar lahem, and he told the aniyim, B'niyim, my children, throw it down. Don't take those vegetables. It's not kedai. If you get rid of it, I'm going to give you double from Meiser. And then he explained to them, not because I'm being stingy. And therefore I want to give you something that's going to be Meiser free, so I'm going to give you double. Says the Gemara, why do you have to tell them it's because I'm not stingy? Of course not. He said I'm giving you double. He's giving them double. Of course he's not being stingy. Explains the Gemara, no. One might have suspected that maybe he's just saying, yeah, throw it down, I'll give you double. And he wasn't really going to give it to them. So he explained to them, no, I'm really going to give it to you. It's not that I'm being stingy, but rather I want to make sure you get something which is meiser free. Taner Rabbanan, we continue. Bari Shainan, these are all really add-ons from the previous brises that we discussed in the last 2 blocks. Bari Shaina, in the beginning, in the beginning, they used to leave the oyros, the hides that the Kohanim used to get. They would leave it in where the certain room called the base Haparva. Le'erev in the evening, and every night the people of the Beis Av will get it. Let's remind ourselves there are 24 mishmaris. All the kahanim are broken up into 24 groups. Each mishmar gets 1 week of the year. Within each week, then the kahanim are further subdivided into bati avos, and each Beis Av gets 1 week. So you used to collect all the hides from all the karbanos, and every night a different Beis Av would take his karbanos. What's the problem? Vayabali Israel. And there were some strong Kohanim, and they would take all the hides, all the iris, and the other Kohanim will lose out. So Eskinus, what do they say? They said, okay, we're no longer giving away the hides every night because it became too much that the strong people would win. Rather, what are we going to do? We give it out once a week. Seemingly, in that scenario, all the Bati Avos would take care of each other, and the one larger Mishmar would ensure that the right people would get the iris. But what's happened? The Asyan Kulu Mishmar, so therefore they would all get, the Mishmar would get it collectively at the end of the week. However, they would take it together. Says now it was the Gedalim, who was the prestigious Kehanim, that they would come and say, we're supposed to get there. They were taking it Israel. So what happened? Amdu Bailim. Now Rashi explains that when it says Bailim, it doesn't mean the owner, it means all the Mishmaris, all the Kehanim, they got together. This is ridiculous. We're not all getting the hides. Certain people are always getting them. So what do they say? And they said the hides, the iris, are no longer going to come to us like Kehanim. Rather, we're being makdish to Hashem. Amru, and they said, it was not many days. That the entire Heichel was covered over with gold. Amal Amu, which was an amma thick, one amma by one amma, like the thickness of a dinar zav. Ularegel, and every yomtiv hayim makablan, and they would fold up. They would put down all the gold on the steps of the Arabayis. When all Klal Yisrael would come, they would see Ryan, they would see Shemalach Lainav in Ben Dalin. They would see that the Kehanim were working appropriately and there were no flaws, meaning no one was taking the hides. They were, and meaning, what does it mean that there was gold? It was hides. Says Rashi, they would sell the iris because no longer was taking them. They would be makdish to the Beis HaMikdash. They would sell all the hides, and the proceeds they were to use to decorate the Beis HaMikdash, and that's what they would do in order to make sure that it was apportioned appropriately, and different. The wrong people were taking it, the wrong strong people were taking it. Said, forget it. Let's just give all the money to the Beis HaMikdash. Says the Gemara, Tanu, you learned in the Mishnah. Abashal says, Kairei shall shikmar, the beams, or more precisely, the trunks of the sycamore tree. Haya be'richel, they're in Yerichu. Vaya bal Yisrael is night lenis, and the strong Kehanim. And the strong Kehanim used to take up Israel with force. Amdu Balim, the owners got up. And they said, no what? We're not, no longer, these items should be hektish. And what's similar to them. Amar Abashal ben Butnis, Mishum Abba Yosef ben Chanin, Abashal ben Butnis said the name of Abba Yosef ben Chanin. Woe is to me from Beit Basam that used to take these items forcefully, and from their sticks. Now the Gemara continues all the different issues that we're having, and he said, woe is to me from Beit Chanan, the Kohanim Gedolim from there, from the whisperings that Rashi explains, they would whisper seemingly that the Kohanim would plot, that different people would take different things. Woe is to me from the house of Kartum, woe is to me from their sticks, the evil leaders, from their kolmosim, from their scribes, from their pens, that they would write evil letters. Oili beis Yishmael ben Bachi, oili me grew up from their force. Sheganim gedolim, they were kanim gedolim, we named Gizbarim. Their children were the Gizbarim of the Beis Hamikdash, v'chatzneim, and the son-in-laws, Amar Cholin. They were the ones that would control all the hektish v'abdim, and the servants, they would beat the people with their sticks. So this was the progression that unfortunately all the different Kehanim Gedolim, the different leaders that were not acting appropriately. Tanar Rabbanan, the Gemara continues on a similar theme. There were 4 screamings that the Azara of the Beis Hamikdash screamed out. Reishaina. Firstly, the Bnei Eli should get up and get out of here. They defile the house of Hashem. That what Rashi says, the Pesukim seem to sound like that they actually slept with an ish as ish, but we've seen it doesn't really mean that. Rather, it means they didn't judge on the cases appropriately of the woman, therefore they weren't metayer to their husband, which caused them to act inappropriately. Va'oid, and the second thing that Zara would scream out, Savacha, Seimi kan yisachar ish kvar barkai. This family should get out of here. Shemechabid es atzmai. They would honor themselves and they desecrated the holiness of heavens. Why? These guys would wrap their hands in silk. They would do the avodah. First of all, it looks like they didn't want to touch the karbanos. That's not nice. This is holy food. Number two is that it was a chatzitza. It was the wrong thing to do. When you deal with kachim, you have to deal straight with your hands. And furthermore, these last two screams, there were four screams. So the first two were cries, terrible things. The last two are going to be praises. The gate should get up because Yishmael ben Pachai, and Yishmael ben Pachai should enter. Talmidei shel Pinchas, the Talmud of Pinchas, Yishamish bekuna gedola, and he should become the Kohen Gadol. V'yitzavacha, the last one, Azar Shu Sha'arim Rashechem, the gate should get up because Yochanan ben Garbai, Talmidei shel ben Gai, Yimali Karesim because Shemayim, he should get up and he should fill up his stomach with holy karbanos. Amru alav. They said in this Kohen Gadol Yochanan ben Narvai, She'achal Gimel Meis Agalim, you eat 300 calves, Gimel Meis Garvayim, 300 jugs of wine. And 40 saw of geizlis of birds, b'kinuach as dessert, su'uda in the meal. Now, obviously, it doesn't mean he himself ate all this. Rashi said rather he was a tremendous baal chesed, and he used to have at his table all the kehanim, and he would feed them all this wonderful food. And Amru, they said about that time period of this Yoichlem and Nervai, Kol Yom of Yoichlem and Nervai, Loinimsa nicer makes it never nice. There was never anything left over. You always made sure there were adequate kehanim to eat up all their karbanos. My salka. My Salka baby Zachar Ish Kafar Barkai says more. What happened with him? He was the second one that the Zara cried out because he was covering his hands with silk and not performing the Avodah correctly. He says the Gemara Amra Malka Malka. So the following story happened. The king and the queen Haviyasi Malka. They were sitting and asking Amar Gadayai, what was better? The king said the Malka Amar Gadayai, that the kid is better. Umalkas Amar, and he said I'm sorry Imra Yai, that the lamb is better. So what's better? Is the lamb better, or is the kid, is the goat better? Which is a better type of meat? So Amru, they said, we should ask. The king and queen said, Man muchach kohen gadol kamatz karbanos kol yoma. He said to me karbanos all day. He'll know what's better meat. Is it the lamb? Is the kid? Is it the lamb? Is it the kid? Also, he used to call them in. And what do? He waved it with his hand, dismissively, almost belittling the king and queen. He said, what do you mean? If the kid was better, then the carbon tablet should be of the kid, and it's not, it's rather of the lamb, thereby insulting the king and the queen. Amar Malka. Since he didn't fear the kingdom, let's cut off his right hand. But he gave them bribery. He wanted his right hand. That's why he had to do the avodah. The small, and he cut off his last hand. Shama Malko Paskil Amina. I'm sorry, Paskil the small. They cut off his left hand. Shama Malko, the Malko heard that he bribed the person, and they only cut off his left hand. She said, "No way, Paskil Amina." Now he got both hands chopped off. Amarav Yosef Brich Rachmana Dashkeli Yisachar Kvar Barkai. Blessed is God that he cut off his hand by Alma, because he got it destroyed. He got his punishment in this world better than getting the punishment in the next world. Amarav Ashi Yisachar Kvar Barkai Lotan Masnitan. He didn't learn about fair Mishnah. It's not Rav Shimon Aimer. Kavasim came in the Izim. The sheep comes before the goat. Lamb. Everywhere. You would think, I don't know if I think it's that backward. The lamb comes before the kid. I would have thought, well, because it's better. Tama Leimer says in the Pasuk, Keves Yavi Karbanai, Melame, Sheshneim Shkulim Kach, they're both equal. So he should not have weighed in. He should have told them that they're both equal. Ravina Amar, not only did he not know that, I feel Mikrai Nami like cry. This Kohen Gadol seemingly didn't know a simple Pasuk, Lazivim, Keves, Imeis, Ibai Keves Laisi, Ibai Eis Laisi, showing us that they're equal in chashivas, in importance, the keves and the ease. That's why he got this punishment. We should do a tremendous chazar in this fourth parak. We're closing in at the halfway mark of Pesachim. Stikla Pesach Rishon. Before I speak out, because it's been Masechta of Pesachim. Which we split in half. First four parakim were a separate Masechta Pesach Rishon. So we finished the first half. Mirz Hashem, we should Mirz Hashem very soon finish the second half. And I hope at that Siyam we'll be able to celebrate all together.